Hi everyone, this is Joe Isaiah and I'm back for a video on the upcoming international predictions this year. I know I've not made the videos for a while, so I'm sorry about that because I've been really busy with a new job and life happenings. Nevertheless, I've been still keeping up with some of DOTA and I'm really excited for this year's international because it will be in Singapore, which is my hometown, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. I have also been keeping up with some of the meta, some of the teams, and I'm still up to date with which teams might be likely to win the international and which heroes are exciting. So without further ado, let's get into the video and I'll be sharing my personal predictions for TI. Whether or not they might be right, I can't be sure, but I hope that it will be insightful for you so that you can copy it or you can make your own adjustments or also have your own thoughts about the predictions. So let's go first to the last chance. For last chance, the first team that everyone thinks will win, including me, is Extreme Gaming. Extreme Gaming looks extremely dominant. Paparazzi, PYW, DY, O11 and Low has all shown themselves to be among the top players in China. PYW and DY especially are a very famous support duo that has been playing almost as long as Notia and Fly had, so they played together for a really long time and are a really good support duo. They are quite likely to win the whole thing, so I would suggest strongly to pick Extreme Gaming unless you don't think the China team or you don't think this lineup will do that well. Now what about another choice? I would say that for the second choice, Outsider is a good choice, Secret is a good choice, and the other 2 or 3 good choices include T1, Liquid and Polaris. Why do I call these teams out? I would say that Southeast Asia has been becoming more competitive and Polaris is a team that was tier 2 like Boom, but they became a tier 1 team this year and they have consistently been growing and becoming stronger and stronger. They almost qualified to the TI through the C qualifiers but fall short 3-2 and lost to Talon. So they did almost qualify to TI but didn't. So they are a strong team. T1, well, we all know about T1 and now they have Anna and Thompson in it. They are still a fairly new team, yet they made it to the 3rd place in the C qualifiers. They should still continue to be growing and they are motivated with two-time TI winners. So yes, they may take it. Liquid is also strong because Western Europe teams are pretty strong. Their lineup is strong and Liquid did dominate quite a bit during the year. The problem is that they didn't look as dominant later this year and they couldn't perform that well in the majors for some reason. So that's the reason why for my own personal choice I choose Secret. Why? Because Secret, although they consistently failed to get to the major, they did still place in the middle in Western Europe and they look better and better towards the end of the year, even almost winning the whole tournament like Riyadh Masters, and they just look like they are constantly improving. And certain heroes that they have like Puppy, Leech and Chen, they are in the meta now and they have continually be buffed. And then Secret is a team that doesn't really shine away from weird pick like Timbersaw, Mitch, Patch Mid, and all this Leech support. So they might be able to have what it takes to continue to innovate and to do well. So yeah, I pick Secret and Extreme Gaming. If not, you could also strongly consider Outsiders or Virtuspro, T1 and Liquid. Now let's get to heroes. Here are my hero picks. For the most picked hero, why did I choose Silencer? Well, the most picked hero has to be a hero that will not be banned all the time, but yet it will still be popularly picked. So a hero like Io would be banned a lot, Marcy would be banned a lot, So these are heroes that are too popular, such that they'll probably be the more likely most banned rather than most picked. What hero then would be most picked? It would be a hero that is good, becoming popular in this meta, has a high win rate, is always impactful, and perhaps it can even be played in multiple roles. So one such hero could be Tiny. Tiny can be played as a support, it can play as a mid, and even slightly possibly as a off lane or carry. But I didn't pick Tiny personally because I think that Tiny has been nerfed a little here and there, so it's not strong enough to be picked almost every game. So I picked Silencer because Silencer has been buffed a lot. Let's take a look at Silencer. If you look at Silencer, oh wow, Silencer, look at this. He has a win rate of about above 55% across all brackets. In the Immortal parts, he has like 58% win rate. So that's just amazing, isn't it? He has been buffed a lot so that he really owns the lane. He does a crazy amount of damage, and Global Silence is always useful. So this is just my hot take, that because Silencer is becoming so strong, it might be the hero that is most picked. It's not a popular hero to ban because there are ways to play around Silencer, but then since people don't ban it, then maybe people will pick it. What about most banned? I had a hard time to think about what are the most banned, the most banned, because Marcy would be one, Io would be one, and last time in TI 10 it was Monkey King as well, which I put as the most picked. But now it's hard to really know, except among, for me it's just Io or Marcy. So I just go with Io because almost every TI we see that Io is consistently first place, first ban. What about the hero with the highest win rate? So the hero with the highest win rate has to be a niche pick, a last pick that is a cheese hero that will really dominate the game because there's no counter to it. Examples include Brood Mother, Meepo, it includes what's that hero called? Brood Mother, Meepo, and Visage. Visage has a very high win rate as well, of about like 58-59% in pubs, in Immortal pubs. But why did I pick Tinker? I picked Tinker because I think that Tinker will be played 5 games to 10 games, lesser games than Visage. Visage will probably be played more games than Tinker because Visage is popular among players like LGD, like NTT. So if Visage is picked too much and some of these teams will not win, then the win rate will go down. But Tinker is not going to be picked as much, and Tinker is popular for LGD, which I think might win the TI. So that's why I picked Tinker. For the hero with the highest kill average, I took a really long time with this. Popular ones include Ember Spirit, like Slug, Storm Spirit, Ursa, and I decided on Ursa because I think players that might play Ursa and play aggressively include Army, and they will get a lot of kills. And if you look at the hero list, right, and you look at Ursa, the average kills for Ursa is 12, and that is highest among any heroes. The rest are like 11 kills, 10 kills, so Ursa is pretty good pick. For the highest assist average, I know that many of you may choose Zeus, you may choose Ancient Appariton, you may choose Silencer or Spirit, and yes, these are all popular picks and the more likely picks over Lich. But I chose Lich because based on statistics, Lich also has almost equal amount of assists compared to these other heroes, and that's because Lich skills are very good at fighting. Lich should constantly fight, constantly stand behind his allies and show Frost Shield, Frost Blast, his ulti, and stun enemies. So Lich will be involved in almost every fight in many ways. So Lich has been constantly buffed, giving more HP regen, more mana regen, more Frost Blast damage over the past few patches, and he's becoming more and more popular. So I believe that this TI Lich will be picked more often, and this will be a hero that will fight non-stop and get many assists. people that may pick it include DJ, Jonel, Papi, and I won't be surprised if it's picked by LGD or even Miposhka. Yeah. Here, the lowest death average. This has to be a hero that avoids dying and farms, split farms, using skeletons, illusions, whatnot. It can be like TB, Nagasarian, Anti-Mage. I just felt like Wave King might be the one. I could be very wrong with this. A more popular choice would be like Naga or Anti-Mage, but I just felt like going with Wave King. With the hero with the highest last hit, it has often been Naga. So I just picked Naga for last hit average and highest last hit in the game. For the experience per minute, the hero with the highest experience per minute is quite often a mid laner, and a mid laner that is greedy, a mid laner that needs to farm. The mid laner solos the lane so he gets higher levels first, and then he continues to farm camps and get kills. This could be like TA, it could be like Shadowfiend, it could be a hero like that, TA, Shadowfiend, or Sniper, but no, Sniper is not that meta in the mid, right? So that's where I choose TA. And at the same time, you have to pick a hero that will more likely be played as mid, or at most as mid and safe, so that most likely the highest XPM average will be the highest. If that hero may be played as a support, then the XPM average should go down. Here, the most kills a game, Ember Spirit is one such hero that could just roam around like crazy in one game and get a lot of kills. A player like Abed could just fly around the map during one game, and then maybe they get 30 kills that game. So that's where I go Ember Spirit. Now let's move on to the next 3 section: teams, players, and tournaments. For teams, which team do I think will win? Although I know that LGD is surrounded by a very strong curse that they get to the finals and lose due to pressure and whatnot, I believe that the LGD this year has been the strongest of all time, in the sense that this LGD roster looks stronger than the one in TI8, TI9 and previous years. They have previous TI winners, they have had so much experience at the international, and these 5 people chose to stick together since last year, and they did dominate through this year. I think they have the motivation, they have the experience, they want to revenge against Team Spirit and OG, so they have a much higher chance to make it this time around. So that's why I picked them. If not, then of course the other popular ones include Team Spirit and OG. Are there dark horses? Well, some other teams that are uncertain but could somehow pull it off. A very wild card could be the North American teams, TSM and EG, but it's very wild. ING could also be a wild card with players like Somnus, Kaka, X-Nova, Charlize wanting to get it to the main stage again. I don't think that the new Western Europe teams will have what it takes to close off the finals, but they may get a high placement, Tandra, Entity and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see. Well, of course, I would be really happy if the Southeast Asia team like Fnatic and Boom does it, but I just kind of feel like they still lack a bit of experience, but of course, they might be more motivated than ever this year. We'll see. For which team has the most skill, I choose Thunder Awaken. If you watch Thunder Awaken's games all the time, they are so good at taking team fights, and they are always brawling, they are always fighting. The Bat Rider lassoing somebody, the Tiny stunning somebody, the Wind Ranger shackle shot and shooting someone. They fight all the time. They fight 60 minutes game, they fight 50-minute games, they get 100 kills. So yeah, I think they'll get the most kills. But why do I choose the highest kill average Fnatic? That's because Fnatic likes to fight as well. Players like DJ and Amel and Jets, they love to brawl, while Raven farms and sometimes join. But yet at the same time, they love to drag the game out even to an hour. So when the game is long and they keep fighting, yeah, they might have the highest kill average. Team with fewest death, I just simply choose LGD in a game. If you watched the True Side last year, LGD only died 1 time or 5 times in 1 games against Team Spirit. They die really little, and if they play the most games, they have the high chance to have the lowest deaths. For most assists, I choose Fnatic, because for the same reason, for having the most kills, if they keep fighting and the game is long, then there would be the most assists. that's the reason that I put the highest game length as well. For the team that wins the longest game, I just felt like it might be Spirit, because Spirit is really good. They might even win the international. They are able to have a very close game, protecting their wards and vision, coming back into the game, skewering to the fountain, defending their high ground, and just playing really disciplined. So with such a strong discipline, strong team, they may drag out a game against another strong team up to even say 2 hours. They kind of did that in the earlier major against LGD. Yeah, I think so. For the team that win the shortest game, I just felt that it could be one of the teams like LGD, Spirit, or OG, but I'll just put OG because I think sometimes this OG roster, although they play discipline, but sometimes they just pop off. They are really good, especially to be disciplined and to get back into the game, but they may not win their lanes. But if all of them win their lane, then they could even end the game in 15 minutes. Team that picks the most different hero, it should be a team that gets to the grand finals, that play many games, and their players are versatile. So players like Xingqiu and Fabian are versatile, Armee is versatile. In fact, the whole roster is versatile, and if they get to the grand finals, they would play the most heroes. Team that pick the fewest hero, it should be one of the teams historically known for always picking the same hero. One of them is Gaming Gladiators, like Boom always picking like a Sound Spirit, or like a Celery picking Io or Bane, Tofu picking Winter Wyvern. So it's like quite predictable what they'll pick unless they did change up. So yeah, and I don't think they will make it far, so they might pick the fewest heroes. Lastly, let's go to players tournaments. For players, player with the highest clear average, Somnus. Somnus is a mid laner that he pops off and pops off hard. He tends to win almost every lane that every game he tends to win the mid lane, get kills, get the first blood, and he tends to even often go into a beyond godlike streak. So for player the most kills in the game, I just chose Armee. Again, LGD players have an advantage if they do make it to the grand finals, because they play the most games, and so they are more likely to get the most kills or most average or whatever. So I just chose Armee because, let's say, right, the hero that I pick most kills is Ursa. Then let's say Armee plays Ursa game and gets like 30 kills. I'm aligning my most kill heroes Ursa with the hero that Armee may play, which is possibly Ursa. So that's where the logic is. Players with lowest death average, I say Yatoro. Because Yatoro, yes, he may join the team to fight, but a lot of times he just farms, and he farms really fast and farms really well and gets the items that you need, and he doesn't die much. If you watch the True Side this year, in the video, he had many free games of farming, so he doesn't die much. Player the highest assist average, like what we look at the teams. I said that Fnatic will have the highest kills and highest assists, and DJ is the main person in the Fnatic that initiates the fight and goes in and all that. So yeah, that just makes sense. Player the most assists in the game, I just chose Taiga because Taiga is like a position 4 and 5. He's like the IO who will heal people or save them. He's the person who will roll in and black hole. He's a person who will stun here. Someone who does everything. He wards, he stuns, he heals, he saves, and he is always behind one of the cores. And OG does like to go in and out of fights all the time, so possibly Taiga might be the one with the most assists. So now let's look at the highest last hits. Same logic that Yatoro may have the least death and be free farming, so he might have the highest last hit average. But for the one with the most last hit in the game, I choose Armee for last hits and GPM, because he might just have one or some games that he played like Naga Siren or Wraith King and just farm really well, and yeah, and because LGD is likely going to go to the grand finals, then it's more likely that Armee might be the one with the most last hit and GPM. But when it comes to the average, it is Yatoro that I put in because he may free farm a lot in most of the games he plays. For the player that played the most hero, I just felt like Yatoro is a good choice. Of course, it could be Ame or like Zinkyu or somebody else, but I just choose Yatoro because he seems to have the habit of wanting to play different carries, and carries are more often last pick or second last pick, and it's based on the draft. So Yatoro is somebody who likes to propose different carries to play based on different games, and he might be on a mission to play different carries. Of course, this could be Pure as well, because Pure from NTT did play many different carries, like even Doom and Sniper. So yeah, you could choose, say, Pure or Yatoro. These Eastern Europe carries looks like they are very versatile. Okay, to close it off, let's go to a tournament. For the tournament, this is easier. Historically, it's more often that the number of gameplays is somewhere between 50 to 54. The total number of heroes picked last year was also 100 plus. Last year was 100 plus bands, and I think that this year the meta is most diversified. There aren't any heroes that is totally oppressive, and there aren't any heroes that is just dog shit, totally unplayable. All the heroes are kind of playable and kind of have certain users, so it's quite easy to think that there will be 100 plus pick and 100 plus banned. For the most combined total kills in the game, it's aligned together with the longest game, and I think that the longest game will be about 90 to 99 minutes. I didn't dare to pick 100, so I just picked 90 to 99. I think that the game, there might be such a long game because there are certain teams that are really strong, so they will have a close game together. And on top of that, the current meta is that heroes have lower EXP gain. There's no EXP gain talent. The game has slowed down. Buildings have more armor. Neutral creeps are harder to farm. Killing heroes get less gold. Killing creeps get less EXP. So it takes a longer time to become fat, to become strong, to take down the towers, and this makes the game go on longer. So it's more likely that a game will go really long. Even 100 plus minutes, but for me I choose 90 to 99. But I do think that even in 90 to 99 minutes, there might be a team that gets 100 plus kills. Again, I didn't think whether it could be 120 or more. I just felt 100 to 110 is already quite a lot, and it's a safe bet. For the shortest game, I choose 15 to 20 minutes. Of course, sometimes there might be a possibility of even faster, but I didn't want to choose an even faster timing because as I've mentioned about the meta, the current meta, it's harder to take down the ancient, the towers, to farm, to kill neutral creeps, and to get EXP. So the games do get longer. So even if a team really dominates the other team, I think the earliest that a GG will happen will be at about 15 minutes. For the most kill in a game, I think the Ursa or Ember Spirit, something like that, could get at least 26 kills, possibly. For the most death, I just choose 21 kills because I can picture certain pause 5 heroes like X Nova especially, or No Tier, although he's not here, or Misha. Yeah, Misha is almost the same as No Tier. They just keep dying over and over again. You watch their games, every 2 minutes, every 1 minute they die. So there is a chance of that happening. For the most assists, I do think that the heroes like Lich, Earth Spirit, Ancient Appariton, Zeus could get that many assists easily when the game is so long. For the highest GPM in the game, I'm not sure about this one because the GPM did decrease, so it might not be 1000 plus. But there are very good carry players that we have this year. Yatoro, Ame, Pure. Yeah, these are some of the carry players that farm really well and know the best farming patterns, and so they might just be able to pull off a game with over 1000 plus GPM. So these are my predictions. You can take one quick last look. Last chance I put Extreme Gaming and Secret. You can consider T1, Liquid, Virtus Pro, Polaris as well. For the heroes, look, these are my picks. This is for the teams. LGD is pretty safe to pick for these 3 categories. And these are the picks for players. You can't go too wrong by putting in Yatoro and Ame in some of these categories, such as highest GPM. For the tournament, this is the picks. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry that my camera isn't working, but I hope that you enjoying these predictions, and if you do, please like this video, please subscribe, please share with your friends, please leave a comment and tell me what you like or dislike, what you agree or disagree about the predictions, so that this may motivate me to share more content with you whenever I have time. Thank you so much for watching, and all the best, and I hope that you enjoy the upcoming TI 10, TI 11 as well.